So just finished this print. This is like a tripod mount goes in here. This bed is still a bit warm. And put your mobile phone in here. Looks like a bit of a shift there. And it's a bit rough down this edge certainly. Couple of bumps, a bit of rough just there, all that's coming off. I don't want to lift it off the bed at the moment, there's a bit of a string left. And this was using my BLTouch Probe, no problems, worked alright, did fine, as you can probably see there. I mean, stuff like this is probably some of the like settings. I don't know how well this will fit on my Moto 3 G3 or something it is, the type of phone I have. That's one thing with sort of rapid prototypes. I did print one of these out earlier, but this I think was more for an Apple type, and see how thin that is. And my phone has quite a curved back on it actually, so my phone would not fit in there, so I made these parts a bit wider, and also to a certain extent I've curved the back a bit, well not really a curve I suppose, but stepped it out a bit. So once this is cooled, I'm going to remove it off the bed, and I also want to check for warpage, because I have had some warpage problems. This is quite new tape on here with being cleaned off with that isopropyl alcohol, about 99% proof I think my stuff I use. A bit of a hole in there. That might be because of the model I'm using. I might have to block that up. Seems to be a bit of a line here as well, as if it's shifted. Certainly a step there. Again, that might be the original model file. I need a bit of tweaking there. Oh, there's my phone to actually tell me that this is finished. Some more bumps here. Okay, so let this cool down and then I'll pull it off. Like the bed's at about 26 degrees, let's see. Yep, it's come off quite well that. So it certainly looks like some layer shift in there. Quite a bit of sort of stringiness within this part here, and also on that part. It does have the thread in this tripod hole. You see this shift here. I might want to slow down the travel actually. Overall I would class this as not too bad. Let's see, that seems pretty level. Doesn't seem to be any warping on there, so I don't know if that's because I've got quite newish painter's tape on, or the heated bed, which was set to 70 degrees for this. So this was about hours 23 minutes to print this, give or take a bit, say 2.5 hours. Let's see if this will let me try and get some of this stuff off here. I'm just going to use these long nose pliers and then I'll come back when I've done that. So I've just given it a quick twist off some of the strings a bit, and while I was doing that I have noticed that it seems to be almost, which way was this on here? Yeah, I think it was that way, wasn't it? It's almost like it's been gradually stepping over, moving over the head, and then there's been quite a bit of a jump here. So you might notice that this should probably be at right angles, but it's at an angle going like that. Same on this edge, that's going over that way. See this line here, how that sort of shifts and steps over. Let me see if this anywhere near fits my phone. This is a Motorola 3G or something, I think it is. Well, that won't clip over there like that. Let's slide in. It's a little bit tight. I mean, that is almost fitting in there. Just see what I mean by the curve on the back of this phone. It's got quite a curve on it actually. Talk about warping. Can be a nuisance this if you put down and you want to press on such like. Good phone apart from that. Let me try this from this side because it might be a bit wider. I mean, it's almost, it's very, oof. No, it's not going to go on, I don't think. It's almost on there. You can see that that part is almost fitting on, and then it seems to be sticking on this other part, so it wants making a little bit wider, I think. Yeah, certainly. And also this back edge here probably wants to be even more curvy. But as I say, that's part of Protomaker's rapid prototyping. If I had to send off for something like, well, I wouldn't be able to get something like this, I don't think. I mean, does that hold that in there? Well, it's right on the edge here, so I don't want to shake it too much, but that's in there pretty strong. So it's a bit more modification. Print it out again and see if I can get rid of this like shifting over. So that's on the forward backward sort of Y movement, because that's the way it was printed. So it's like it's been shifting over by about, well, it seems to go a few layers then shift, then a few more layers then shift, then a few more layers and shift like that. This was it's hard to get in here and clean this out. Well, I'm quite pleased with that, reasonably pleased at this stage. I'll just show you that probe I'm using, BLTouch. So that's the probe, works fine, no problems once it's set up and tweaked and such like. And this is the first, what I would term as a real model to a certain extent of that. Now the shifting is not really to do with the probe, it's to do with I think maybe printing speeds actually. I'll have to check that. And the stringing as well. Have to check that. Okay, so that's the first realistic print, I think. It's using this BLTouch Probe. And how that has shifted. Yeah. I think this bottom edge, what was down on the bed, oops, is pretty flat. Maybe a bit of sanding needs done on that. There's a bit of a, you see a bit of light through there, but I think a bit of sanding would smooth that out. Okay, so let's have a look at a solution to this shifting. I think is the main problem there.